Hello everybody, welcome back. We're on game 3 for Victory 5 versus Rogue Warriors. It's been a puzzling one, but Victory 5 were able to enact on that composition, slam Rogue Warriors in the early game, and there's no coming back.
Like they should have. That was a far superior draft strategy from V5. I don't really like what Rogue Warriors is doing at all. Going red side, blind picking for 2 lanes and 2 very losing ones doesn't seem like a great idea. And the only thing that V5 needed to change was just that mid lane pick. They got something that could roam a lot easier in Mole's Taliyah.
Yeah, and so of course, granted, he's able to get that MVP the last game. So great job to Mole on his Taliyah pick. Was able to get the first blood too, by just a second. Remember, Holder was able to get that first that kill in the top lane a second afterwards. So breaking speed for Mole.
Good individual performances, and then he shares it across the rest of the map. This is the solo kill that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Does have the Ignite versus the TP, and getting some style points over HuaTian. Going to the bot side that we're talking about, Haro trying to play this smart, staying steady out of sight of Rek'Sai, but you can't get away from Mole.
And so, rightfully so, a montage to his name, because Mole this game was active. Not only was he able to get that early lead, but every single time, I mean, we saw early pressure on the side lanes, he was there for him. And this pick, we were talking about a potential for a Baron steal there, just blew the Silas away. Haro didn't get a chance on that one.
Wasn't even really close, and that's why during the break we were talking about that if you want to blind pick something and have it go scaling, then Azir is actually a better option than Corki in most cases, because he does have more of that wave clearing potential in the early game as opposed to Corki, which really does struggle there. His first item typically is going for the Triforce, so you don't get the extra AP into the Phosphorus Bomb, and then he has a very long Valkyrie cooldown, difficult to get away with. I really want to see Rogue Warrior change up their draft. They're not going to change their bot side, they're going to have to change their mid.
Exactly. Once again, you're put in a position where, sure, Haro was in the right side of the map, but it doesn't matter if you're always outgunned, outmatched, and that's what it felt like. He was bot side when it counted, but he still got pushed out because he didn't have the stronger 3v3. He was top side when it mattered, but didn't matter when not only did they have the stronger 3v3 on the side of Victory 5, but the Taliyah had pushed in and roamed up top side. So at least one cog being changed. For a lot of people out there, you know, the Corki, if you want to have Corki, God bless you, you can keep it. But at least change something else. But to your credit to what you said, Clement, ZWuJi ain't changing.
Nope.
He's picking for the late game.
He's always been that way. We haven't seen a single early game pick coming out from ZWuJi. Always late game. Yep, always late game hyper-scaling carries, which is kind of peculiar because he actually was the first one to herald back the return of Caitlyn into the meta. He was a big Caitlyn player back in the LDL and when he first debuted in the LPL as well.
It's funny because you get to really get an idea of players' preferences. Before, we saw the big change in Rogue Warriors when they had real question in the early game, and the only player you could rely on, or at least the only lane, I'll give Killua the respect, he played really well that split, was in the bottom side of the map. And a lot of the times, he had to go away from the late game scaling champions and had a lot of ownership in the early game. Lucian and the Caitlyn was what he was picking up, but now you have some star players on your team. You got Haro, you got Holder in the top lane. Debatably, a lot of people will fight back in the whole star mentality, but you have talented players, and so he's realized I can just play, you know, scaling. I'm fine for that reason. But not everybody, all right? Somebody's got to be able to take it. I want to at least see, as you mentioned, Azir in the mid lane.
The basics of this game is one side has to be the safe side, one side has to be the aggressive side. That's always how you play League of Legends. That's the most steady foundation. And Rogue Warriors are still figuring out which side it is. Their problem is that they have a transition that's very difficult to make. They have a weak bottom side, but they rely on bottom side for the majority of their damage early. And they have a very strong top side that they throw a lot of resources in Haro. We were talking about this, #1 in first blood rate out of the entire LPL, out of 16 teams. But then that side isn't what they focus on in the mid and late game. So making that transition has been difficult for Rogue Warriors. It isn't clear where, how much advantages they can actually push on whichever side of the map. And I think a clear way to fix most of their problems is at least just going for a early game centric mid jungle duo.
And so this is going to be real fun for game 3, because a lot of the times in the LPL, at least for this split, you've seen games go to game 3, but you have a pretty damn good inkling that you know, one team is going to have the big victor that, you know, they're going to really shore up a lot of the drafting issues and come back stronger in Game 3. This time around, you can make that point, but you don't know really who's going to be able to come out in the victory. Victory 5 has had a pretty damn good split up until this point, really blowing away expectations. And Rogue Warriors right now are in a 2-series win streak, taking down LNG and EDG. So on the up and up, we're right back at it. Nothing is changing here.
I love how Hanny is shaking his head violently. Yes, yes, yes. Just do the same bands. We'll get this one.
Yeah. Yeah, pick that Tahm, Kench.
They're not going to change. They've got one trick. Just
Get
go
the
for the
corky.
Lux.
Get the corky. Oh, wait a minute.
There we go.
What do we got here? All right, they learned their lessons. Now you're going to have to look towards Mole and say, or I suppose Windy, and have an answer to it. I actually really like the Syndra in Game 1. I think the Syndra could handle herself quite well in this lane. It is still a pretty big skill matchup. This is why, you know, looking to this game when both teams make the adaptation. Oh my God!
Oh my God,
Yes!
Mole. Yes! This is what we've been waiting for. We've been calling him an assassin player since he debuted, but he hasn't been able to touch it. We're finally going to see a Zed come into play, the first Zed of the split.
You know, first phase 2. On first phase, he didn't hide it. He's like, I don't give a damn. I know you guys are not going to ban it, but I want to pick it up just to make the statement, all right?
What I will
Zed
say,
versus the Taliyah.
Yes, what I will say, though, there's a high chance that Taliyah actually goes back into the jungle. We have been seeing Taliyah jungles pop up, and this is a champion that Haro actually played in the jungle before, so it's not 100% mid.
It's very dependent. We'll have to see. A lot of the times, people are still willing to pick up the Taliyah if they have a strong jungler to force that 2v2. So Rogue Warriors have a lot of time to still build that composition. The Varus and Tahm Kench taking hold of the bottom side of the map. We wanted to see ZWuJi and Killua take control of this lane. And this is that first chance for them to do it. Could be a lethality Varus, so it's still up in the air knowing that they're going up against that potential Comet Ashe.
Yes, this is so refreshing. This is why you get a BO3 for the full experience, because you get to watch the teams adapt and change here. B5, same draft, same band, same everything, but Rogue Warriors are throwing the curveballs. They have a strong bot lane this time, and they have a very roam-centric mid laner as well. What they need to find, most importantly, is a strong jungler that can at least protect Taliyah from getting soloed.
See what we can get in here. Victory 5 is going into the second phase. Actually, it's going to be Rogue Warriors that get that first pick. So they're looking towards what is a top laner and potentially a jungler. You're right about Taliyah going in between both sides. You're seeing the Camille and the Jace being banned by Victory 5, and we get a look. 20 seconds. Rogue Warriors has a lot of time right now to choose their top lane. You'd expect it to be a top lane pick. Ooh.
Okay.
I like this hover.
Going for the strong mid-jungle duo, if you can get the knock-up easy chain into the seismic shove and an easy kill onto the Zed even then. So I like this answer coming in from Rogue Warriors. This is going to be a battle of mid-jungles. So the question here for V5 is, what do you play against the Zhao?
It's going to be an Elise. Because with the Ryze pickup, you're not really too concerned about the damage share. You know, magic damage to AD. So really you can go for any AD jungler of your choosing. Ben 4, remember we called him the highlight hunter early on when he debuted with his Lee Sin, but he has a choice in between the two. Max is going to give him that option with 10 seconds to spare.
I do like the Rek'Sai a bit better here because it does give you that one-shot potential against Taliyah just with the flash knockup. And it's one of the few champions that, even though it doesn't win against Zhao, you have an equal fighting chance.
It's going to be the Aatrox jungle you would expect, so that's going to be fun. Remember, Aatrox jungle is what we saw pretty dominantly before Rift Rivals. We saw it quite a bit, especially globally. So we're going to have to see what Ben4 could do with that one. It's going to be a lot of, you know, snowball potential on that one in team fights. See if he gets rolling. Renekton being locked in for Holder. These are the compositions that will decide this series. That Ryze, though, Ryze and Zed, Victory 5 throwing down the Infinity Gauntlet. It's a heavy one. They're saying that, yeah, this is what we were picking for. This is what we wanted to, you know, it was up our sleeves. You finally forced us to go in that direction, and now we get to see it. I want to see it. It's going to be Windy. Remember, Windy is the Yasuo player.
Yep.
If he locks that in with 10 seconds to spare, then you're right. I mean, you talked about it being a pick 4 Mole, but both of them still has that assassination identity. So it comes down to who's more confident the champion.
The way this changes the dynamics compared to something like the Rek'Sai is the ganks are going to be headed more towards the top lane rather than the mid lane. I don't think you have enough crowd control to really chase down a Taliyah with the Aatrox and the Zed necessarily. So I do think the action is going to be more centered around top side, and the way that the Zed is going to play is just using the kill threat to make sure that Taliyah can't roam into river.
Now, we are on uncharted grounds when it comes to a Zed pick, especially for a team that is very fluid with their solo lane identities. You know, it could be a mid laner and a top laner. And I've seen a lot in European solo queue and some teams willing to pick up Zed in the top lane. So I'm just saying there's a potential point for Zed to be put up top lane, simply because, I mean, he's going to be safe for the most part with the W shadow that he has. And then when he gets to the late game point, he's still going to be a fantastic split pusher. Yeah,
Zed has seen a resurgence after his recent buff. They upped the damage ratios on the Razor Shuriken, but they did take away the extra 80 you get from killing people.
Yep.
So it does balance out depending on the champions you get, but most of the time you get a small buff, at least in the early game. And that small buff of damage is enough to take down a lot of targets.
One thing is clear, steer clear away from the Renekton. That's all you want to see. Victory 5 has that one core identity. Pair up that Zed with the Taliyah. It will define this series in a game 3 between ZWuJi. Oh, ZWuJi, this is later today. Victory 5 and Rogue Warriors. Oh no. They got the pick. Can they go on top of it? A flash from HuaTian early on in this game, while the chats were going too.
Big loss for Rogue Warriors, having to get a flash and a heal burned earlier on. This is not what they want out of an early aggressive composition. I'm glad that at least they're walking out of their shell and trying something new.
Yeah. But now we're in dangerous waters. If we're talking about Rogue Warriors with the solo lanes that they're currently dealing with, we're looking at, Zed going up against a flashless Taliyah. I mean, that's already a big concern if you're in this game. You look towards Ryze too. Already had, if we're talking about the changes that Ryze had in the patch prior. Yeah, sure. He's not going to be able to go towards Aftershock nearly as much. I mean, not at all, to be fair. That's not going to happen, especially with the Rune Prison getting changed. But the damage numbers actually increased. And so top lane Ryze has still been seen just simply because of the damage he's able to accrue.
And we've actually seen a lot of these Ryzes be targets of 1v1 kills from the Renektons these days, which is really weird. The Renektons have been going for the Mercury Treads early just for the additional chase down potential and the shorter duration of a crowd control.
Get away from your red buff. I'm bringing in the frog too. Full committal, but he ends up picking up his own red buff, so really close. Just wasn't able to get the timing of Killua roaming in.
I really like that path coming in from Aatrox. It's something that few junglers can do, but because he has so much AoE, he can start Raptors, go to his red, and then end up at the bot side. Much better than going red, Krugs, and then back to Raptors.
Here are the runes. Of course, Scorch makes a lot of sense, but oh, you're dead, my friend. Yeah,
Oops.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's just not going to look good for you. And I don't think Killua had his W. It's a very long cooldown. If we're talking about cooldowns, I think you're going dead. I think you're going down. Okay, actually, Mole leveled up, and on top of that, still had flash, so it was fairly safe.
I'm glad Mole hasn't gone 3 for 3 in being solo killed this series.
That would have been unfortunate. Don't want that happening ever.
He is a mid laner by his career.
Yeah, that's true. Wendy was in the top lane and got solo killed on that one, but
oh, you're right.
That's
you're
true.
right.
So
sorry, shouldn't blame it all on Mole.
There we go. Oh no, Holder's gonna be. I think he's gonna be able to get out. Oh no, yeah, has to flash. Really close. Love that timing Ben had for that one. So Ben 4 being able to get the gank at the right time.
That rub buff secured by Ben 4 was actually massive, allowing him to get to his level 3. Just watch how this happens. No Devour from Killua.
Yeah, just must have been on cooldown. Sometimes we get the opportunity to see it when it went on cooldown. We didn't get to see it then. We just have to trust that Killua is just not willing to see his AD carry die. At the end of the day, you just have to have that trust. But here's Haro. But I mean, Max and Y4 are pretty damn healthy here. Don't think that's going to be a dive. Just really, Krug's going over to the jungle.
Yep, just a bit of experience stolen away here. And that was a great find on Max, actually. It was very close through the minion wave to find the binding onto ZWuJi. And it seems like Max is very confident on his Lux pick. That's 3 games in a row that we see Lux just being the ultimate first pick.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great Yuumi performance last time around, and at times it really comes down to what do you prefer for your team? And Lux double binding scales incredibly well. And at times, especially since we want this team to be looking towards pick potential, not having necessarily this vision control, I mean, Lux is a pretty good answer.
We were scouting Max as he came in. He is in.
Oh, flash in. No one's going to talk about that unless if they can get the kill. That's a lot of damage on the field. One more auto attack. He's able to get it. Can he get out scot-free? Heal coming through from Max, who roams up into the mid lane and stuffs Haro from potentially looking for a fight.
Wow, I can't believe that one actually worked. It was a flash across the wall, but they didn't actually land the Infernal Change. Just the raw damage, enough to take down HuaTian.
Oh, might be able to turn on towards Windy, but they just want to get a full shove on this wave. So it's a team effort on this one. Max should be fine here, but just good timing. They recognize that HuaTian in level 1 still didn't have his flash, and that was the ultimate result of that one.
It's an unfortunate level 1 from V5. It's a lot of times you do have a bit of rock, paper, scissors when you go into the level 1 invades. At least Rogue Warriors are going to find the Raptor.
So that comment's going to be confirmation that ZWuJi is going towards lethality. You look towards Y4, you went, lethal tempo instead of the comment, so not really focusing on the wave clear on that. Or not the wave clear, but the poke. The poke damage, especially since, the buff to Ashe was that reduced cooldown on W, on volley. See the trade coming through. It's going to be much better from Ryze. In fact, he should be able to get this kill.
Yes, Flash. One more.
Oh, yes! Mole gets the kill.
Just barely enough mana to chase that one down. And Mo finally shows Holder one back, actually. Just pays him back for the previous solo kills that he's endured.
Yeah, on both Windy and Mole's head. Holder is finally not running rough shot in the Earl again. It's been happening too often in this series. And he finally gets, a lesson learned to him. He goes in for the trade. There's no wave near him, and so he can't back away behind a minion. That's just full damage coming in from Mole. And the flash, yeah, take a look at this. Fade away. Don't have to look back on that one, being able to get the kill onto the Renekton.
Cool guys don't look at explosions, and that was very well done on Mole's end. The only thing that I would say about Holder's trade is when he went back, he didn't have a minion to hide behind, like you were talking about. If there was someone there to take the overload, then he would have been fine.
It's a sad reality. Take a look at the lanes themselves. At the end of the day, Victory 5 is looking very good. They have the goal lead for good reasons, the solo lanes that they initially wanted to set up for. Not only did Ryze get that solo kill, but when he got help from his jungler and Ben Forward, he was able to pick up that kill too on HuaTian. So the solo lanes of Rogue Warriors are now just really struggling.
It's taking a look at the builds in the bottom lane while we have the armor penetration coming in from ZWuJi, a more deviant build. We have Y4 going for the good old trusted Blade of the Ruin King build. Instead of the more popular, we're seeing Triforces and Essence Reavers a lot as well.
Yeah.
So this build is much better objective control and better at sustained damage when the opponents can't really reach, they don't have strong enough engage to reach you.
Yeah, I'm always a fan, of course, of the Sheen with Trinity Force, so you can get that increased damage or the crits you get on cross shot. That's always a positive on that one. But the fact that he's going towards the, extra Vamp Scepter, you're right. I mean, it's good for the end of team fights, so he can actually pump out damage, and more importantly, with the poke that he's receiving within this lane, he's getting from the Varus itself, that he can actually heal back up and he can sustain throughout the laning phase.
First Drake going over, it's going to be a double Ocean Drake setup as well.
Oh my God.
Oof. Rogue Warriors really need to contest at least the next one. They're going to be level 6 for this one. They're going to be level 6 when it does happen, and you really want Xin Zhao to snowball a little bit.
Yeah, it feels bad for Rogue Warriors. The Dragon RNG is not going in their favor. Really early Ocean Dragon, especially for Ryze. He's going to have a lot of good times. And it was already a pretty good matchup here, and it's only going to get better with the extra bit of splash damage. This is the best thing about the change from Ryze, is that wave clear is no longer difficult. I mean, some of the matchups you would think about, he just gets it done easy. So Holder has to kind of hold that L underneath tower, getting traded upon.
Definitely makes him a much stronger champion early. The previous Ryze, if he wanted a wave clear like this, usually didn't have enough mana to then trade with the champion itself, but this time with the Ocean Drake, he's finding no difficult, and with the new patch, of course.
Yeah, and take a look at this. Zed is getting priority throughout the lane. Killua is going to find the fastest way back onto the map. Remember, he has Spellbook here, so he's taking use of teleports. So you can get it on, off on cooldown, get his heal back. Take a look at this. Wendy's always looming up to the top side, just starting to try and bully Holder.
I really like this play from Killua. Like, his AD carry is not in lane yet, so he's shoring up the top side of the map, where Ryze and Windy have already gotten full lane priority. So he's just making sure that everyone is safe, doing what a support should do. I really enjoyed this roam.
Yeah, and priority is starting to become a favor on them because of that roam. You're right. Take a look at the control work deep in the red side jungle of Victory 5 in the southern quadrant. I mean, now when Taliyah starts to rotate to that side of the map, Zed has to think twice before going up top lane. So through a dominoes of means, now Holder is safer.
Not saying that he's going to get out of that lane fine, but yes, he is safer. The early solo kill just hurts you so much in this trade, especially with the Ocean as well. Most Renektons can't kill the Ryze in a single shot combo.
Yeah.
And if you don't get your Merc Treads before they get their Ninja Tabbies, the matchup just feels awful. It feels unwinnable at times. It is one of those matchups where the Ryze just gets ahead, he stays ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pressing the F keys, you're definitely looking at your jungler to see what position he's in, to see if he can help you out. Killua is doing a lot of good work to help out his laners, but he does need to go back bottom lane. You can see that ZWuJi is already there, and he can start to contest this wave, so please come back. Ooh, just the tip.
After playing TFT for so long, it's so hard remembering that this actually does physical damage.
Oh my God, save me. So now he's in kill range.
Oh, well done. This is actually flash alt kill range. It's very hard to anticipate a Varus flash alt.
Let's
the
go.
animation is so short.
I mean, at least the sustain's coming through from Max, but how much is the sustain really going to serve you?
Seems like a lot.
I mean, he's going to be at like, yeah, thankfully he dodged that one. Done a lot of damage. In fact, that's a lot. Ashe ultimate too. Killua's on the losing end of this one. He still has Flash available. I think he's out. ZWuJi is going to be taking a lot of damage here, though. But yeah, really turned on a dime just off that one pick.
That was pretty close. So better positioning on the jungler side by V5. But
Okay, please leave me alone. ZWuJi is getting opened up on, but Tahm Kench nearby is going to be able to save him.
Oh!
What the hell happened there?
Challenger smite, baby!
Sad face. I thought I was out.
This must be so rough on ZWuJi. This is the third game in a row where he's getting this extra treatment from Ben 4.
Yeah, and they picked for, finally, they picked for the lane. It happened. But now they're really getting put back on the back front. Oh no, Haro has to use his ultimate to get him back. In fact, using the teleport. And this is a great opportunity from Holder to be able to get this one. In fact, he's going to try and chase him down, but no minion wave here to try and hack and slash. Okay, please help me. Ignite, not going to tick with that golden watch on his hand.
Getting a kill away, but V5 all three lanes actually doing okay. I would say topside even got himself away from a bad trade there. So 3 wins in a row and a flash taken.
He wants to finally base off this wave. Zed was so close to being able to net that kill. Okay, what's going on here, guys? Leave me alone.
That should be a mold teleport incoming. Killua. Okay,
ZWuJi's on his own on this one, so you really have to question what Rogue Warriors were trying to do in the enemy jungle after losing so heavily. You're right, teleport came through and was able to net another kill on top of ZWuJi.
Getting double Ocean before a laning phase can end is absolutely painful. I want to see how V5 actually play this one out. If they're just going to go for just purely taking the tower down, or they could torment Rogue Warriors a little bit longer.
And this is when I regret to tell all of you guys that the POV stream is ZWuJi this game. So you're seeing a lot of gray. It's cloudy out there. Not having a good one. Taking a look at the mid lane.
Oh, that was cool.
It was so incredibly close. And I saw the animation for Ignite that was on top of his head, so still needed to go golden on that one. But take a look at these lanes. I mean, the fact that Victory 5 had recovered so well in this series to come right back. And it says a lot. It says a lot about those lessons that you learn in a best-of-3 series. It's what you learn, especially nearing the playoff best-of-5. Yeah, Y4's ultimate is going to be coming through if he can nail that pick on anybody. Let's see. No one's going to be hit by it, but seems like Rogue Warriors are going to be able to get out of this one. The Rift Herald, though, let's see who picked that one up.
It does belong to Rogue Warriors. They don't have anyone in the vicinity who's willing to risk it. No flashes either. Only Haro has a flash, but he's doing Krugs.
Yeah, let's see. I guess we have a few River Wardens now. Max and Ben 4 will be staying true to this. Yeah, no one's going to try and make that attempt. It's a suicide mission.
Good roam by Max. He's there in time, and they're able to ward off, hold on to that 3K gold advantage. Now, the lane allocation is a little bit messed up right here. I don't think the Zed can do much in the top lane, so we do see the Ashe being transitioned back. Y4 and Max going to hold on to that one where they already have an advantage.
Yeah, I guess focus is going to be mostly on Y4 here. That's the question. It's going to be interesting to see what Victory 5 end up doing lane allocation. But taking a look at the turret plating count, I mean, a lot of gold actually went towards the Croc in the top lane.
I don't think this is... Oh, okay. I just didn't see the number on the far left.
Yeah.
All right.
So at the end of the day, that was 7 turret platings going over to Victory 5, 4 over the side of Rogue Warriors.
What we should see happening next is V5 just roaming around with Windy and Ben for Aatrox and Zed, hit squad, tons of damage, tons of gank potential. Whenever they leave lane, the side lanes are going to have to play super safe. And currently, they're going to be able to do this because Haro has to hover around HuaTian. If he leaves HuaTian on his own devices, Windy's just going to open up on him.
Take a look. Ryze has a good shove on bot side just through the matchup, and he's looking for a deep invade. He's trying to see. At least he gets the track that, you know, jungler is on the bot side of the map. And that's what happens if the matchup is just heavily in your favor like that. So with all that turret plating gold going over to Renekton, it's not really helping him out too much. He's close to being able to pick up that Spear of Sojin, and in the next all-in, it might help him. But if they're stuck in these lanes, it's going to be a problem.
Definitely is, and I want to see how Rogue Warriors actually use the initiation and the roaming potential on their comp. I feel like this is a comp where at times when you're behind, you still have a great chance of coming back because of your engage. You just have to leave your lane sometimes. You have to be willing to give up some of these minion waves. I think the best way to actually do it is for Haro to hold mid and for HuaTian to look for plays.
Heavy pings up in the top lane. Victory 5 want to do exactly they did last time round, enforcing that top lane turret down, but Rogue Warriors have a much better wave clearing option. All in the potential coming in from Haro. Seems like a straight suicide mission. A lot of faith coming in, but for what reason, what purpose? ZWuJi is going to be on the bad side of this fight here. Teleport. Who is this going to favor? Windy seems like he's about to die here. He's just on his own in this fight. So overall, Victory 5 coming up trumps in this one.
Pure disaster in the bottom lane. Molt catches out Holder as he goes through the teleport,
and
it's still going on.
Underneath tower, the Tahm Kench is going to be... Oh, wait a second. In fact, that's a pretty good flick coming in from the Taliyah, but he's also alone on this one. So
good tower damage.
Wow, Turret's actually putting in a lot of work, but as well as they played this, Victory 5 is still slamming them in this fight.
ZWuJi is looking
Don't do
for
this.
it. Oh,
No!
wait for it.
No, help me!
Can he fight it?
Okay.
He gets the Krug?
He's all right.
That's it?
Oh, please stop it.
Come on, Ben 4. Oh, that was just mean.
At least they can get this kill back. What a confusing fight. Victory 5 actually had such a great setup. But at the end of the day, I mean, that turret put in a whole bunch of work. This is when you want to see the whole damage chart throughout that last team fight, but just add the turret into the mix.
The solo lanes just outplayed the heck out of Rogue Warriors in that one. The idea behind Haro engaging is that he felt that it could free HuaTian to come in and follow in on the skirmish, but HuaTian actually had to take a really long route because of Windy, and when Holder was teleporting in, Molt did something that was cruel but really intelligent. He actually didn't root him.
Yeah.
He actually just went full damage on him, and when he landed, he had 300 HP and died instantly.
Yeah, I mean, the tail end of that one, you got to see good plays. It really did feel like, as Atlas would put in, you know, smacking him with your wallet. Victory 5 are just so far ahead right now. We're talking about just through the gold, 6K gold lead here for Victory 5. A whole lot of it is on the side of that Aatrox. See another pick now. Okay, 1v1 me. Gets the full allocation. That's an all in there. A lot of AoE being thrown on the ground, but once again, Victory 5 taking pure control. And that's going to be a clean sweep, an ace in favor of Victory 5.
That reminded me of the Cheyenne River.
That's true.
That was a 4-man queue. Straight onto the entirety of Rogue Warriors. V5 are just winning on every single front.
It's a horror story there for Rogue Warriors, being on the tail end of that one. While the Infernal Dragon was outplayed too, so V5 going to be able to nail themselves that third dragon, double Ocean, and an Infernal.
Ben4 was one of the first ones to bring Aatrox back into the jungle, and he's showing this split why he's so good on the pick 5-1 and 5 already. Hey, Rogue Warriors, you might be staking a name for yourself on this Aatrox picks, but there's more than you that can do well on it.
So this was the 1v1 that we got to see from Y4. Once again, in the same exact position, ZWuJi in the series gets isolated and assassinated before the fight even begins. And so once it comes through, I mean, this was a quick one. You don't have your AD that's fed. What chance do you have in the fight?
And I love the way that V5 are just hopping out of vision to get all of these picks. You could see Y4 going across the bend after he fired his arrow outside of vision just to get that. And in the bottom lane as well, Aatrox finding a great position.
I'm going to ask you a question. I've always faced this one. What's the 75% mean? In other positions, it was like 100% to 100%. I'll ask that question next time. It seems like another fight's happening here. Max has to flash over. Tahm Kench just for preventative measures.
So the first bar actually means...
I'm not going to let you finish that one as well. Ashe is a dead one, maybe. Let's see how long this fight ends up going here. In fact, Ashe could win this 1v1. Oh, please! Oh, my goodness! Please don't!
Shield comes in!
Oh, please, no! All right, the Ashe is going to be even... He's going to be able to fight this one, turn this one back too, using Max as a human shield.
Oh, Y4 just outplaying all day versus Rogue Warriors. That's gotta hurt their soul. He was face checking into a Zhao and still gets away with it. That's not supposed to happen.
In any other game, that is a dead AD carry. That is a dead Ashe. But at this point in the time, man, she has nearly 3 items picked up, and that's a very, very poor Haro. So at this stage, I mean, good luck. It's a Baron buff going over to Victory 5. Looks like they're going in for that last spike, and Killua get out of this one. About to be routed. Really good ultimate coming in from ZWuJi. Really good.
Great slows.
Yeah, there we go. They had to get out of that one, but that was a really tough position to be in if you're ZWuJi and Killua, but they got to that one pretty masterfully.
And Rogue Warriors have to feel deflated at this point. That was a 2v1 where they couldn't win in the bottom side, and also Mole was able to ward off 3 people from Rogue Warriors in the mid lane at the same time. That's just how far ahead V5
Just give me a replay on this one, because I was a little bit suspicious when I was looking at it. It's like, I don't know, the sustain's there for the Ashe.
Yeah, he's 2 levels down, but he does have challenging smite and the red buff. Still can't win. He goes down to less than 100 HP.
He should have just fully committed to the fight. The fact that he kited back and moved backwards instead of just sitting and delivering, that was the main reason for it. What point is there as a melee champion to ever walk back against an Ashe? The only question. I think he overthought the situation and started to panic.
Yeah, he just should have went pure in on the auto attacks. It was just 1 away from getting Y4 down.
Yeah, he would have killed him, I think, actually. Definitely would have.
Very close, very close.
So yeah, the Colonel is laying it down. This is another game where Rogue Warriors are getting slapped.
We talked about this match as being high stakes because both were in that 8th to 10th range. Both were going to be gatekeepers. But wait a minute.
Oh my god, alright, another team fight coming through. ZWuJi is able to get the kill on towards Max, but Rogue Warriors are now the victims here. Here comes the flank coming in from Windy. I don't know if there's anyone going to be able to come out of this one scot-free. Zed takes another one down. There we go. The clean sweep once again. The second clean sweep of the game. Victory 5 destroy Rogue Warriors.
And V5 say kill them all. I love what Y4 did there. Straight flash underneath the turret to get 4 slows down with the Fury stacks, with the Runan's Hurricane, and make sure that his team can finish off the team fight. That was some ballsy AD carry play, and that's what I expect out of Y4 all of the time. He might not make the most mechanically outstanding plays, but he will make the most well thought out plays, the best plays for his team. He is known as a great utility AD carry.
Yeah, always looking for the optimal. Take a look at this. We kind of missed this coming into it just to see how Victory 5 initially got caught out. ZWuJi found the pick on towards Max, but the real issue is Zed looking in for a flank. Same goes towards the Ryze.
Wow. My God.
Yeah, the Aatrox is putting in a lot of work here.
I don't think many AD carries would do that, but Y4 really had his eyes on the prize, just going in there, multiple flanking positions, Mole from behind, Aatrox from the side. It's perfect trap.
That's why they had no real exit strategy. The moment Windy comes in, he's cleaning up. He was the janitor of that fight. Who's your MVP for this one?
Oof, this one's... Well, let me think on that a while.
All right, that's fair. Maybe there's going to be that one fight that someone gets a pentakill and it changes everything. So I'm going to hold you to that one. You're not running away from me on this one.
Okay, I will keep my mind on it. For now, I think I'm going to go with Ben4.
Yeah?
I think Ben4 had the most consequential kills.
I like that. I'm a fan of that one. Certainly a big reason for it. I think Ryze is a good one too. So I'll hedge bets on this one. You go with the Aatrox, I go with the Ryze.
All right, I'm going to win this one. 8-1-6. I know exactly how they pick their MVPs.
All right, okay. All right, that's fair enough. That's the third inhibitor going down. I mean, at this point, we're talking about line in the sand consistently. No Taliyah flick coming through from HuaTian. Has to wait for the next roll and cooldown. Not going to wait at all. In fact, all in to get the Ryze. Just as I'm trying to get an MVP here, he throws himself to the wind.
That was perplexing.
What the hell? Another all-in. He just wanted to die on this one. End this game a little earlier. Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, Victory 5, we're going to go in for another all-in with the Nexus Tower coming down on
V5?
them.
Hello?
Please.
Hello, V5?
What's going on? I have faith here. There's a lot of faith happening. All right, well, that's another kill. That's actually 3 deaths from Victory 5 while they're trying to close the game. They're going to stick around.
They're still going for it.
They still have super minions coming into the base. And Holder should die here alongside ZWuJi.
Oh, they got the
that's
Zed
not how
double.
that works. He needed more HP on the Nexus. All right, that's fine. That should be it. Yeah, teleport on side. So that's going to be, you'd expect to be the end of the series, but this one's getting a little bit too ridiculous.
I enjoy the A round. Keep it going, guys.
As long as possible. It's not like there's much of a chance for Rogue Warriors to be able to take this one. Mole just going to get a second kill. Try for a third. Let's get a triple kill, why not? Oh, the Zed's going to be able to steal it. Double kill to end this series, and that's going to be a big win for Victory 5. Yeah, love to see it.
They closed down in style. Rogue Warriors were forced to change their play, their game plan, go for an early game composition, but it looked like the laning strength just wasn't there. Solo kills in the bottom lane and in the top lane earlier on. Ben4 then finds 2 kills in the mid and in the bot, again accentuating this team composition. And I feel like V5 are making a strong claim to being one of the most aggressive early game teams in the LPL.
Yeah, I mean, they went back to that composition. You see Coach coming right back out there. He was peeking his head, realizing they were still going through their bows. And now back to comfort the team, because remember, how you judge teams is based on how they are able to adapt in these best of threes. And you saw from Victory 5 was, you know, going right back to it, doubling down. Sometimes the best adaptation doesn't come through pick and ban. It legitimately just comes back through a mental shift, and they realized they just could play better from game 1 to game 2, and that Rogue Warriors were the one that making the drafting errors.
What I'm seeing out of V5 is that they have a lot of pocket picks that are absolutely dangerous to give them to. You see, Ryze on Mole has been a killer the entire split long, and then Ben going back to Aatrox. It's the first time this split he's picked it up, but in the previous split it was his best champion for sure. And you see all of these difficult headache picks shaping up in the roster and forming around a strong early game composition. V5 look dangerous.
Talking about headache picks, that is the first Zed of the split and the first win of the split. That's 100% win ratio coming in from Victory 5.
Sweet.
So that's it, man. If you're going into a pick and ban versus Victory 5, not only do you have to fear which laner is going where, is Mole going mid or top lane, but also just the damn picks themselves. Questioning whether Ryze was still going to be on their radar. Hell yes, it's going to be. Big win from Victory 5 after the loss that they had versus FPX. Now putting themselves 4-3, higher in the standings. It's nice to be able to see the contest Sunning what is, Sunning right now who's in the 8th place spot in the playoffs. Playoff hunt's going to be big for Victory 5.
I gotta say, I feel much more stronger about Victory 5 after watching this series rather than Suning. I think that matchup is going to be absolutely critical. And V5 for me, at the very least, they will have the stronger top side. I feel like Windy and Mo, the diversity in being able to swap lanes and just their individual performances versus BuBu and Maple, I'm not sure Suning can make it out of V5.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough because it's always a constant changing story now because Victory 5 has had their tough times during the split, but they're getting better and better, man. It's interesting to see them find that progression throughout the split because remember, all four of us as analysts, and I mean also putting in, you know, the people that aren't here today, the play-by-plays, the two of them. Play-by-play Ryze in action again. We've all made the call that Rogue Warriors were going to be the victors here. We made that prediction. And a lot of it comes down to that faith that we had in the players of ZWuJi, Haro, and Holder. Like those talented three.
I have erred. I'm sorry.
Yes, you have. The errors. We've all made that error. And so Victory 5 are looking stronger, and a lot of people are, you know, naysayers. What turns heads? What makes you a believer of Victory 5?
I think Victory 5 were willing to go outside of the box. That's the most important thing for me. They didn't play stock standard LPL type of League of Legends where you just bank on your bot laner and basically bet everything on your bot laner. A lot of teams in the LPL do that. RNG, LGD, the list goes on and on. Instead, they looked at what their talent and they crafted a style that no one else can really copy, is very unique, and they're willing to use their own pocket picks to back it up.
Yes.
So it makes them very difficult to predict, and it also accentuates their strengths. They at least have that one thing that nobody else can really predict or really follow in their same path. It's the uniqueness of being willing to go off and stray off the grand 80 carry path that the LPL has laid for generations to go out in the wilderness and build your own church. I think that's what makes V5 fun. That's what makes V5 interesting, and I think it's going to make them successful.
It's like a harkening back of the old LPL, really. It's fun to be able to see that from happening. Just that aggressive, always look for a skirmish, but you saw in Game 2 that ability to take a step back, knowing that they had it won by the draft, and so it's fun to be able to see this from Victory 5. At the end of the day, I mean, we take a look at this team, and they're getting stronger and stronger. At times, we, you know, need to question how they'll be doing going forward. A lot of those players are starting to create a reputation for themselves because they're the type of team that suffer when it comes to public perception because they don't have that name branding.
They don't. And honestly, this is a underdog story. If you looked at their previous performance, Windy was on a 14th place team out of 25 teams in the LPL. You look at his track record, 5 years being a professional, being a substitute on RNG, and he really hasn't accomplished much.
Yes.
Not really done much at all. So for him to showcase his own performances like this, great. For Mole, he was kicked off of BLG after they got the double Korean imports in ADD and Kuro. So for him to have a comeback, I think it's well deserved. It's finally about time that we can see him get some breath of fresh air, and he looks deadly with the new Ryze.
Yes, he does. It's fun to see. I know a lot of people are looking towards that pick and saying, is it completely gone? Is it a dead champion now?
Ooh.
It may not be first pickable, but it's still a damn good champion. It may not be flexible with the whole Aftershock pickups, but the damage it's able to apply, the lane dominance that it has in a lot of these matchups, especially versus a Renekton, that is incredibly relevant to how the LPL is currently forming, with a lot of the Renektons being picked up now. If people are just essentially blind picking the Renekton thinking it is safe and is good into the Aurelia, which it is, but now with the Ryze coming back, it's going to suit a lot of teams. A lot of notes are going to be taken about this game based off of how good Ryze is currently forming in the top lane.
That definitely is the case. I think Ryze is still going to stay along for a long, stick around. His catch potential has been lowered because he needs to throw an extra skill to get the root down. But in the solo lane itself, his damage has not decreased whatsoever. He's still going to be that machine gun made right in your face.
It's crazy
now.
now.
So if you don't gank and put him down early, he's actually stronger in some senses. You saw his wave clear as well. He could hold himself better against the constant shove of the Renekton Q.
And if it depends on your build too, Rod of Ages got a decent buff in terms of gold efficiency.
Seen Joinby going for that.
So you can now go towards Rod of Ages if you want. Take some time to go into tier and Rod of Ages, but if it's something you want to be able to accomplish, then God bless, your side laning will be empowered. So now we look towards the future of Rogue Warriors, because of course, you know, singing the praises of Victory 5, but Rogue Warriors are now 2-5. So this is no longer an issue about having a bad strength of schedule, about it being tough, because they went up against a team that all everyone really expected them to come over then, and they took that big L. So sure, they beat down LNG and EDG, but consistency is key in the LPL.
Yeah, I have to say Rogue Warriors, for me, they have strong points on the map, but it doesn't seem like they're chaining them together into a functional structure.
Yep.
That's the main thing. I think their draft needs a lot of revisiting. Tahm Kench first is kind of questionable, and their inability to play early aggressive compositions is going to burn them super hard in the LPL.
All right, we made our bets on our MVPs. Let's take a look at who it is. I'm going to be surprised about this one. I was told, but I didn't get to hear it. Max!
Wow.
Maximum damage. Maximum assists. 21 assists on this one. He came in tough, 82% in terms of kill participation. I'm always surprised whenever it comes down to, you're right, who gets the MVPs? What is the calculation? Is it the highest KDAs? You made the point about, you know, you're right, and I guess it came down to the assists. I thought it was going to be kills, the flashiness, but it comes down to Max, once again, picking up another MVP. He's actually been stacking it. If we're talking about supports, I'm pretty damn sure he has the most MVPs amongst supports. I'm just going to say that from gut feeling, because every single time I see a Victory 5 game, guess who ends up picking it up? It's going to be his 5th MVP so far in the LPL.
Yeah, don't think I've seen anyone higher than that. Great Yuumi play as always, and his Lux, 3 games in a row, first pick by his own coach, kills in the lane, 1v2 that he assisted with the Y4. And also, I think Aatrox got a couple of points docked away from him on Ben 4 after that fountain dive. So
My God.
Well done.
Yeah,
well
it
done,
happens.
Max.
It happens.
Holding down the fort.
Hold him down. All right, well, Victory 5, congratulations being able to take that win, but we still have one more series tonight. It's going to be ZWuJi Gaming going up against Victus Gaming. Now, we still have a break, so I'll see you guys at the end of it.
悔恨会磨平我们灵魂中的棱角。
势在必得，现在看一下皇子，
刚才回家去防守了，现在 TP 还没有转好，李想说 TP 就差2秒钟，但是那个2秒钟，刚才那个闪现怎么回事？皇子这个时候想要进来，他不上去把它填满了以后，吞到肚里了。比赛肚里总没有办法下来抢龙了吧？
而且现在他下来是带着春哥的尸体下来的，
这个决定不卖了，
打？
跳上去硬锤，不卖了，不卖了。猪妹再顶上去 ，EZ 只能疯狂输出猪妹，贾克斯一个人在后面扛着所有人的输出，再也顶不住了。
进化的代价是必要的死亡。
现在要撤退，得留人卖命断后。李尚卓一个冰雕雕起来，想要断后。然而 B5 在解决了李尚卓之后，继续往前挺进。这一次已经没有地方走了，再被
要自杀了吗？
要夸抓，要夸抓，来让一下，让一下夸抓，顶住。没有让 Ace。
好兄弟，好兄弟，
好兄弟。
是时候表演真正的技术了。
老干爹要直指大龙，这一把就不需要犹豫太久了。21分钟的时间点，算是 on time 的 rush 大龙。
看好了。
看一下后面这3个人有没有办法阻止。102现在远处拉了一个大招，打到的是 Yuki， 但是 Yuki 还可以持续的给队伍一个护盾，而遗憾的是在龙坑上面在找机会有没有进入去抢。这一手就看遗憾的了。正面克斯也还在积极的贡献输出，大龙也还在输出，但是老干爹想要先歼灭掉正面的人员，
能力全开。
正面的克斯是已经倒下了，但大龙的血量也降得比较危机。Crystal 疯狂的 poke， 这时候找到一个机会把 Kramer 给偷掉。正面找到了一个猪妹的一个位置，猪妹下来，大龙血量1000多点。这时候大龙的话会被 OH 给抢掉啊 ！Oh my god！
不知道队友们都有多强。过一阵儿，我要邀请他们和我一起训练。
我是末日。
都有想法，一个 W，
走位很好啊，这边刘劲松。西维尔在上面也不敢下来，
这里要打4v4了吗？
海南绕后，但是有视野，
对面这个位置被发现，
要留了，
鱼给大招，
可以闪现大招进场，
那个加速这边要先杀一个，让剑魔先复活。那一个有机会，林伟翔已经被秒了。剑魔的话现在有复活的能力，流星度也被砍掉。这边毫无疑问，老干爹的爆发能力更强，他们打得更果断一些。小天也跑不掉了，剑魔红，这个大灭红大灭下来根本不怕你啊！
死亡是一种仁慈。
第一波的 Gaunt 马上要开起来，后补身上是有盾的，他们的集火目标会是谁？先打 Mako， 但这边有一个风墙把前面 Misty 的第一波输出给打掉了。而旁边的话交出闪现之后，悲伤是隔墙带着猫逃跑，但杰跟了上来，但身上吃了一个虚弱。杰，哎呀，临死之前还是拿掉了这边的1血，而且死之后还有一定的作战能力。但旁边的话 ，Misty 已经上手拿了双 buff 之后拿到了2个人头，但 Gino 已经起逼下来，而且死之前又再次一枪取掉了后部的性命。
拜到了我的设计之下。
莫甘娜的护盾没有给出来，先交治疗，因为他想等着护盾保护自己的霞。霞这边一个倒钩，我直接把他的秒了。莫甘娜这边盾再给自己，这波维克多的杀打得不错。莫甘娜终于是被击杀，但霞这边漫天飞雨放出来之后，回着一个倒钩拉满了，交闪现，但闪的稍微有点晚。而且这波赛恩因为不在正面，所以 OMG 这边没有人能顶住前排，帮助霞制造输出空间。维克多这波在追击当中拿到一个3杀。
不保野兽的话，你就是食物。
有龙吗？哎，这里
过来，中间的团战，要被秒了吧？
哎呦，黄盖这里有个视野啊！哎，
进场，
大的效果还可以，但是刘青松这里是死战，
泰克要斩起来了呀！后续的伤害没有人再给到了。
今天是狩猎的好日子。
有闪现。泰克这边要斩了，大招上来，哎呀，没有刷新自己的大招啊！
但是这把普攻还是要开金身等死了。
哎，我觉得又拉过来一个加里啊，这边林伟翔收割了，
爬起来，站稳了，狠狠的打。
林伟翔收割了，林伟翔输出环境太完美了，哎，有没有多杀？4杀！
世界一直在变化，结果由我们来决定。